XRP has surged over 220% in 2025 alone. And with the SEC case finally settled and a major XRP ETF now live, investors are asking one big question. Can XRP actually reach $10 or even higher by 2030? In this video, we'll break down everything. The bullish price predictions from institutions like Standard Chartered, technical patterns signaling explosive moves, and the real-world adoption XRP is seeing right now. If you're serious about XRP or even just crypto investing, this data-backed forecast is a must-watch. Let's start with the biggest turning point, Ripple's victory against the SEC in March 2025. After nearly 5 years, the case finally ended with a settlement, officially confirming that XRP is not a security. This was followed almost instantly by ETF approvals, most notably the launch of ProShares XRP Futures ETF, which gave institutional investors a compliant and regulated way to gain exposure to XRP. This wasn't just legal clarity, it was gasoline poured on an already bullish fire. XRP jumped over 220% year-to-date, smashing past $1.20 and entering a new accumulation phase. So where is XRP heading next? Let's look at what analysts and institutional players are projecting. Standard Chartered Bank recently released a target of $5.50 for XRP by the end of 2025, citing increased utility, regulatory clarity, and cross-border adoption. But that's not the ceiling. Some technical analysts point to chart setups suggesting XRP could push between $6 and $15, depending on whether key resistance levels break in Q4. And long-term, if XRP continues to dominate cross-border settlements and more ETFs launch globally, $10 to $20 by 2030 is not out of reach. But keep in mind, these targets rely on adoption, ETF growth, and broader crypto momentum. We'll go deeper into each assumption next. Now, let's get technical. In July 2025, XRP sits at about $3.45 to $3.50, having tested the critical $3.40 resistance zone after a powerful rally. Current charts show higher lows and tightening range patterns, setting the stage for a breakout. Technically speaking, XRP is trading comfortably above its 20, 50, and 100-day exponential moving averages, indicating sustained bullish momentum. Bollinger Bands are compressing, often a prelude to strong moves, with price action nearing the $3.40 to $3.66 zone, a breakout area to watch. Crucially, XRP has held the $2.26 to $2.30 support level consistently. Analysts point out that if this area stays intact, the path to $2.60 to $2.65 becomes clearer, and beyond that lies $3.40 plus, and eventually $5 plus targets. One notable pattern: XRP approached the apex of a rising wedge/symmetrical triangle. Breaking above $2.38 to $2.40 could lead to quick moves toward $2.92 and $3.63, as forecast by FX Empire. And if that breakout comes with volume confirmation, Fibonacci extensions suggest highs around $5.25 or more. Veteran trader Peter Brandt recently pointed to XRP's potential for a 60% rally to $4.47 based on chart momentum, another bullish signal, alongside conservative institutional targets in the $5 to $6 range. Volume is telling the story too. Institutional flows remain strong. CoinDesk reports nearly 2,743 wallets holding over 1 million XRP each, totaling over 47 billion XRP, and accumulation appears to be happening at key support zones. In short, as long as XRP holds above $3.40 and remains range-bound with tightening Bollinger Bands, the technical bias favors breakout targets between $5 and $6, with upside potential toward $10 if momentum continues. All right, let's zoom out. Can XRP actually hit $10 or even more by 2030? Let's talk fundamentals. Ripple is already powering hundreds of financial institutions with on-demand liquidity, ODL, using XRP. As CBDCs and tokenized assets grow, XRP's role in fast, cheap cross-border settlements could expand massively. Global remittance is a $600+ billion market, and if Ripple captures just 5% of that, the XRP liquidity demand would spike significantly. Also, if the ETF trend spreads globally and XRP is added to pension funds, mutual funds, or global crypto baskets, this institutional inflow could drive XRP well beyond $10. In fact, models based on Metcalfe's law, where network value grows exponentially with adoption, suggest that XRP could trade between $10 and $27 by 2030, assuming steady adoption and no major black swan events. Now, before you ape in, let's talk about the key risks every XRP investor should know. First, regulatory shifts. While Ripple won against the SEC in the US, other jurisdictions could still create hurdles. We need to monitor global compliance frameworks. Second, adoption uncertainty. Banks may prefer stablecoins or CBDCs over XRP unless Ripple aggressively maintains partnerships. Third, crypto market volatility. If Bitcoin crashes or macro conditions tighten, XRP could drop regardless of how strong its fundamentals are. But despite these risks, the upside potential for XRP is one of the most asymmetric in the entire market. So, will XRP reach $10 based on adoption, regulation, technicals, and market momentum? The answer is, it's possible, but not guaranteed. Let me know in the comments what your price prediction is for XRP by 2030. If you got value from this deep dive, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. We're tracking every major crypto move with real data. Next up, watch our XRP versus XLM breakdown, or our deep dive into the next altcoins that could 10x in 2025.